Welcome to the Preferred Walk-On Show. I'm your host, Seth Saunders, joined by my trusty co-host, James Kehm. Homie, it has not been a dull week in college football.
Not at all.
So many things going on, and I feel like the last month has been, it's off-field things that are dominating the headlines, but it's great to see you. Army-Navy week, FCS quarters week. It's a fantastic week of football on the field too, but we're not going to start there. Unfortunately, it would be, I feel like, burying the lead not to jump right off into the deep end with this whole Sherrone Moore situation. So I'll just start with you. Like, when you saw the news, I think we texted about it, kind of like, what in the hell is happening right now? They're firing Sherrone Moore. Where are you at on this? What was because apparently, dude, this was not a well-kept secret. But anyways, I'm going to let you start with it.
Well, it was not a well-kept secret, and it was kind of one of those things. There was a lot of rumbling on social media about it back, I want to say late October, early November about stuff. But everybody that was talking about it was nobody connected to the program. It was just, you know, people. And everybody was like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. It's all just BS. And then all those people were right. Everybody was right about it. So it's obviously they knew something and had heard something that was correct. So all those people are owed an apology, I think. And I mean, it just shows how quickly things can change on a dime with any job, really. And it's really sad. You're at the top of your profession, and you just not just lost your job, you destroyed your marriage too. It's just a sad situation all around. And I mean, where does Michigan go from here? Because Michigan doesn't just have to rebuild their image because of this. This goes back. I mean, he was part of the staff with Jim Harbaugh. Like, their image is tarnished going back years at this point. So they've got a lot of rebuilding as far as image goes at this point. I really feel that this is a huge turning point for the Michigan program.
Yeah, I got a lot of thoughts on this. Okay. My first thought is like, and you mentioned it, okay? He's got a head coaching job at his alma mater at one of the, I think you can make an easy argument, top 5 jobs in the country, right? And so there's that piece of it, which is crazy. And, he's married, has children, all those things. And then, dude, here now, I think the more serious thing, and I think really the more tragic piece of all this is all of the criminal charges now that have stemmed from this. Because obviously, when he finds out, I don't know, the details are a little bit mixed, it seems, but it sounds like he went back to his house first, had a confrontation with his wife, then goes to the staffer's house who he was having the affair with, has a confrontation with her, potentially threatens her life, threatens to take his own. Dude, not great, right? Like none of it's good. And just from a human perspective, you're like, you're concerned for his well-being, you're concerned for the staffer's well-being, and most importantly, dude, you're concerned for his wife and his kids, right? Like, this is one of these things where there's so many people that have to navigate the aftermath of this in real life, right? Not like everybody watching it as an outsider, but have to navigate it in real life. And gosh, it's terrible, right? And so I don't know. I just have been thinking a lot about his family and his kids this week. And like, man, this is one of those things where like now this is something they have to carry. Like mistakes he made and choices he made. Now his wife has to carry it. I'm sure soon to be ex-wife has to carry it. His children have to carry it. Like it's just tragic in so many ways, and nothing to do with football. And like, here's the thing, right? Like I don't feel sorry for him because he consciously made all these choices. Okay. So like, I'm not crying any kind of river for him at all. All right. He's a grown man and made a bunch of terrible, terrible decisions. He should be held accountable for all that. You brought up Michigan, and here's where my thoughts have been. All right. They've obviously known about this. Like you don't not know about this. And there's more and more comes out. It seems like he had been investigated for things like this before. And so you just start going, what's happening with this, right? And like, what's going on organizationally at the University of Michigan? And then I don't think you can have that conversation without then having the conversation of, dude, why does Warde like he's now overseeing the team scandal, he's overseeing all of this. Well, at some point, man, attitude and action reflects leadership. He's leader of the athletic department. So it's just curious to me, given how all this has been handled and how things have been handled there now for a long, long time, that he still has a job. And at some point, the Michigan leadership has to be like, hey, man, maybe we need to fix something. Because here's the thing now, right, is he is in charge of hiring the replacement. But you're asking somebody who has very dirty hands to make a decision that's supposed to clean things up? Like, dude, I just don't see it.
No, that's one of my thoughts as well. Is like, are you really going to entrust him to make another coaching hire and set your what you hope to be the next coach for the next 5 to 10 years, and hopefully lead your team back to the prominent spotlight and national championship contender. And especially as many, it's really also very weird the timing of this. I know they waited till after National Signing Day, but with all the coaching openings, I know they wanted to fire him with cause, but you would have felt like if they knew about this back in October when all the rumors started, they would have done this sooner with all the coaching openings because there were so many big coaching openings. They kind of missed out on it unless they had backdoor talk, channel dealings with someone that they knew they wanted. And that guy didn't take another job for this job. It's just something, the timing is really off, in my opinion.
Okay, I'm really glad you brought this up because I've thought about this a lot too. And here's what I think happened, all right? I think if their on-field results had been different, all right? Like if they had dropped any one of those games in November, like the Titan with Northwestern or any of those games where it's like they should have won but then lost, I think they would have fired him. But I think what happened was the season materialized. They keep being in a spot where they're not in the playoff talk, but they're not far enough out of it where like if they had beaten Ohio State in the game, dude, there's an argument to be made. Maybe they should be included in the field, right? Because their only losses then are what? You lost at Oklahoma, who's a playoff team. And then who was their other loss?
I don't even remember.
But regardless, what I'm saying is they had a path, right? And so this is what is bothersome, is they made a choice competitively that, yeah, we know he's doing all this dastardly stuff, but we don't care. Because if he beats Ohio State, we can go to the playoff and we'll just kind of keep things in-house. Which is, dude, that's dirty. Like, that makes me feel dirty thinking about that, right? And so that's why I feel like if you're looking at this as an outsider, how do you look at Michigan and have any respect for that university and that athletic department? You can't. And so that's part of why my big push is that I know everything's about Moore right now and all the decisions he made. And sure, I get all that. But dude, why are we not having a broader conversation about Warde Manuel? Why are we not having a broader conversation about the president of the university? Like, other people need to be culpable for what seemingly is an organizational problem. And dude, if I was a Michigan supporter, I would not want those people making the decision about who's going to lead the program. I want somebody who's going to clean it, right? Because, okay, let's then transition to the next question. If I am a head coach that is being courted for this job, do I want it?
What's a better job, Michigan or Utah, long term? Obviously, on face value, Michigan, bigger brand, more money, better job. But long term, career stability, what's the better job, Utah or Michigan?
Well, okay, this is a great point, okay, because here's the thing. We have to look at the coaching market in that framework, which is, here's the thing, okay? I think Matt Campbell would have been an excellent fit, and he's gone because he's at Penn State, which we'll talk about that. I thought that was an excellent hire, given how they had fumbled the bag thus far. But so who's out there now? They either have to get somebody who already has a job and has recently been extended for the most part, or now you're looking at Kyle Whittingham. Dude, I'm just of the opinion, if I'm Kyle Whittingham, and more importantly, if I'm the people advising Kyle Whittingham, no chance in hell I'm telling him, take this job. Because, dude, you're just cleaning up mess. Now, my opinion on all of that changes if Warde Manuel's out. Dude, maybe even if the president of the university is out. Because
if it's a whole new regime.
Correct. Yes. Because then I'm like, okay, we get to start brand new. Whereas if I'm coming into that situation, I'm like, hold on now. A, what mess do I have to clean up? And more importantly, B, when they need another sacrificial lamb,
you're it.
When do I get thrown under the bus, right?
Yeah.
And so, no, hard pass. And so that's exactly how I would advise my clients if they were being pursued for this job is, dude, I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. So I'm fascinated to see what's going to happen. And they named Biff the interim, which I think makes a lot of sense, given his history there and given those type of things. But I think it has to be a clean house. And so then let's transition then into what does this do to the roster? So you've got one of the more talented quarterbacks in the country, young quarterbacks in the country, in Bryce Underwood. Well, homie, if I'm Bryce Underwood, do I want to stick around for all the mess cleanup? I think I saw something this week that there was a lot of speculation that his deal with them had buyout language and all that stuff. And so who's going to pay the buyout? But then, dude, I'm pretty sure I saw something yesterday that said, no, his deal with them has no buyout provisions. And so essentially, given what has happened, he could walk if he wanted to. I don't know, man. It just there's so much happening, so much going on, and I just feel like how Michigan has handled it has really just thrown, dude, not even just gasoline, as many accelerants as you can think of on a.
If I had to take a guess, I'd say Underwood's gone. If I'm reading the tea leaves, he's already removed all of his Michigan stuff from his social media. Underwood's probably gone. I think Underwood was gone the second Kiffin took the LSU job. I think he was gone regardless, honestly, because if the money was the reason he went to Michigan, but having an offensive coach at LSU at his first choice also makes it more enticing, in my opinion. I think that seeing what Kiffin did with Trinidad Chambliss this year, I think that makes it more enticing. I think he was gone to LSU either way. But it's not just that. The recruiting class, you got the 5-star Hyder running back, all the defensive talent they brought in with this recruiting class. Once they sign, and what is it, a 30-day window to transfer after a coach is fired now, or is it 15 days? I can't remember what the timing is, but they have, time to transfer, no repercussions. So to get out their letter of intent, and I would be shocked. I mean, they have to announce a coach quickly so that this can all be put into place. I just don't see who they're going to get to be able to keep this class together. Like, everybody keeps floating out Kalen DeBoer. I don't see why DeBoer would take it. I mean, even I know Alabama fans want to run him out of town. Alabama fans, I don't get it. Like, I really don't. Like, who would you get to replace DeBoer at this point?
Well, okay, this is another valid question, right? Because people have speculated about this, and this is all message board and internet things, but people have said, oh, yeah, they lose next weekend, DeBoer takes the Michigan job, and then Lane leaves LSU and goes to Alabama, which I think is crazy. I don't think there's a world where that happens. Even Lane, I don't think is that crazy. But you bring up an excellent point, which is if he did leave, which essentially what you're saying is that's their wish. And yes, there have been murmurs that Alabama fans would be perfectly fine if he left. Dude, who do you go get? Who's in the market now that you go get?
And you want Lane? Okay, then you start you basically start from square one with the cycle at that point. So you start the snowball effect, because I would be like, you're going to see a complete snowball with all these coaching hires that just this all got moved around, or going to get moved around again, because LSU then becomes the big dog on the market, and then let's say Summerall takes that job, then Florida becomes the big dog on the market. Like, everything's going to get moved again, and then you burn so many bridges. People will burn so many bridges and so many relationships at that point. Somebody's going to have to put their foot down and stay. So, but so many dominoes are going to be here if DeBoer did take the job. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think you're looking at, with Michigan, you're looking at somebody like Jedd Fisch. You're looking at somebody, maybe Dillingham, even though I don't think so. I think Dillingham is happy at ASU. But I definitely could see somebody like Jedd Fisch taking the job.
Yeah, the Jedd Fisch thing, I think there's some real fire with that smoke. Because here's my thing with that. I think there's a lot of things that could happen, and you've mentioned some of the dominoes. Let's say Bryce transfers to LSU, which I think is very realistic. Not only do you get Jedd Fisch bringing Devon Williams with him.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of plug and play there, and like I think that could work. I don't know, man. It's this entire college football season on and off field has been fall down drunk.
Yeah,
like
it really has
been. It has been absolutely insane, and so yeah, it's something to track. I do want to transition with you because we haven't talked about it together, which is Penn State finally lands their hire. They get Matt Campbell. Thought that was a great fit for them. I mean, this is one of those things where if they had done that in November, everybody goes, Penn State landed the plane beautifully. Yeah. It's just they dropped the bag so many times, and like it just seemed like they were stumbling, that it felt like desperation. But so in so many ways, if you're a Penn State fan, you have to feel very fortunate that they landed on somebody who I think will serve that university quite well. Because, homie, if you can win in Ames, you can win at Penn State. Hard stop.
I like the fit Like that was the biggest thing for me. The people they kept talking about beforehand, I was like, this doesn't really feel like a Penn State high guy. This feels more like this is too much flash in the pan type people. Penn State's always been kind of a more rugged type fit, more rugged type guy, more kind of grease under the nail type feel to you. And Matt Campbell kind of gives you that feel, like kind of rub you the wrong way. Can rub you the wrong, can grease elbows and be nice to you, but kind of rub you the wrong way if he needs to. And he's not as much of a jackass as James Franklin, so I think he'll do just fine. I love the hire though. I think he should have been much higher on their list to begin with instead of all these other people telling them no.
Yeah. I agree. I think it was a good fit and a natural fit, and I do think. I don't know. You at some point you have to have a conversation about like how high would the ceiling ever be at Iowa State? And I think he had kind of hit that, right? Like he is without question the most successful coach in the history of Iowa State football. And so you get to a point and it's like, oh man, how much better can we get really? And so I think the transition now for him is, well, I can go to Penn State and we could legitimately, from a resources, talent procurement perspective, all these type things, we compete for national title. And so, I love it for him too. We'll see if it works, right? Because given how things got handled, man, they're going to have to do a lot of work in the portal because that transfer, their recruiting class was decimated essentially. Yeah. So they're in an interesting spot too. So, and here's the thing from a broader scope in college football for both those programs, you now have two of the top dogs, the alphas, the biggest brands in the Big Ten, Michigan and Penn State. Very, very unknown about like what's going to happen, And so, dude, it's really interesting. So, okay, done talking about coaching. I want to talk to you about real football, and we are going to start. And this feels sacrilegious because today is Army Navy, which is, man, we should have our own show just about Army Navy. So we screwed that up. That's our fault. But homie, we're not going to bury the lead here. FCS quarters started last night, and it was a whole hell of a lot of fun watching Montana State and Stephen F. Austin last night. Dude, that Stephen F. Austin team just wouldn't quit. And man, that Montana State team, Justin Lamson, God, man, I really like watching him. He runs that offense like to a T. And now the Bobcats hosting a semifinal game next weekend to go dance in Nashville. So that was awesome. And then today, we've got full slate, 3 games. 2 of them on national TV, I think. Well, one of them on ABC, like real national TV.
And then ESPN.
And then ESPN. So Villanova playing Tarleton State, which I think will be super interesting. High-powered Tarleton State offense versus a gritty, want to punch in the mouth, run the football, shorten the game Villanova team. And then you got my favorite matchup of the day, the Yotes and the Grizz. Like, come on, baby, let's get some. And then to cap it off, you got UC Davis hosting, dude, maybe the biggest win across college football all season. The Redbirds of Illinois State. My father-in-law, Dave Summers, alma mater, upended the Bison last weekend. Holy smokes.
In the Fargo Dome.
Dude, in the Fargo Dome. Like, crazy. Going to be an awesome, awesome FCS playoff slate today. Where are you sitting on all of it? How you feeling about it?
I'm excited. Everybody kind of gets to this weekend and they're kind of ho-hum about it. But not everybody loves FCS football, and not everybody loves Army Navy, which just really bothers me. Like to me, this is a great day for college football because it sheds a spotlight on the lower levels playoffs, which the FBS should be doing this. We've been screaming at the top of our lungs that they should be doing this, and Army Navy obviously deserves its own spotlight. So, and when we get to it, I know we got to talk about Navy's uniforms when we get to it.
Dude,
my God.
Army too.
Yeah, but Navy's helmets, dude. Navy's helmets are just in another class.
They could be the greatest helmet in the history of helmets.
Ever. Did you see how long it took to make each helmet? Did you read about that?
Yes.
Oh my God. I was like, how do I find one of these? I need one for my collection. So anyway, getting off topic.
Walk me through the games today. Which one do you have the keenest eye on, and who do you think's winning each of the games?
South Dakota, Montana's I think that's the best matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be the best matchup. But this Illinois State UC Davis game is, I think, going to be a lot closer than people think. I am extremely excited about Illinois State. I think that UC Davis plays well at home, but I think Illinois State's going to, I mean, they had the biggest upset of the season. And Illinois State, if you think about it, after they won, after you sent me I didn't know they had won, because I was just so wrapped up in championship games. And then you sent me the text message, and I went back and looked, and I was like, holy crap, because I had that game taped and I was going to watch it later. And I went back and looked through our picks, and Illinois State actually played the Bison pretty tough. They only lost by, I think, 16 or 17 points, which I know doesn't sound close, but that's playing the Bison. That's close in the regular season. So I really like that matchup. This Villanova-Tarleton State game, I know the records look close, but I just think Tarleton State's on a different plane. I really think they're going to run away with it. I think it's going to be close early, maybe like through the first 20 minutes, and Villanova may even be up, but I just think they're going to pull away as the game goes on. I really think they're going to kind of run away with it. But as far as winning, I got to stick with the Grizz. The Grizz I've been riding them all season long. I think the Grizz are going to win. And I'm going to go with the Redbirds. I'm going more with the gut on that one. My mind is telling me to go with UC Davis, but I think Illinois State's going to win. My heart's telling me Illinois State.
I'm going to start with that one. Here's my thing with that, okay? I'm interested to see how the Redbirds navigate the emotion of coming off the win last weekend to then turn back around. You got to get back up, go on the road again, and play this ball game. Now, dude, the flip side of that is they not only beat the Bison, they beat the Bison where their quarterback, Tommy Rittenhouse, had 5 picks, dude.
Yeah.
So, it's not like they played some flawless game where everything fell in their favor. Dude, they have some margin there. And I do think Rittenhouse has been one of the more, I'm not going to say underrated, because he was in the Peyton Award talk mid-season. So, people are cognizant that he's a dude. But, he's real. And then UC Davis has Caden Pennick, who is real. And, that's going to be a super fun matchup. So, I'm with you. I kind of lean Redbirds just because I feel like last weekend, now you're playing with house money. You weren't supposed to be there. And so, what the hell you got to lose now? Just let it eat. And so, I think that was going to be a ton of fun. Let me pop down to Tarleton State Villanova, first one of the day. Here's the thing on this for me. I think Tarleton State will probably win the football game because I think they have more offensive prowess than Villanova. On the flip side of that, I don't think Tarleton State has played a defense like they will see today with Villanova. And I also don't know that they've played an offensive line like they're going to see today. So I think this is going to be a lot more of a rock fight than people anticipate. And so it's funny, man. There's some similar parallels between this Villanova squad defensively and the Georgia team that we obviously have a lot invested in. They are super young and had to really, really gel defensively throughout the season. They play a 3-3-5, which is cool. That's obviously not like Georgia, but 3-3-5 has become a cool defensive structure. And the people that do it and do it well, it presents a lot of problems. And so I'm just real interested to see how Tarleton State's high-flying offense looks against this Villanova defense. So if you're looking at a spread to maybe put a little real money on, I like the Wildcats to cover. I don't like them to win straight up. I'm not saying that, but I like them to cover that number. Now, I'm with you. For me, Yotes Grizz is the game of the day, all right? And I'm so fired up that it's on ABC because I think it'll get a great national spotlight. Also, man, is there a cooler-looking stadium than Washington Grizzly Stadium? Mount Sentinel looming in the background. It's just incredible. And so I will be highly disappointed if it's not a little bit of snow today during the game. I just think that'd be so awesome. Here's my thing with this. I am such in a blender on how to pick this because your boy was boots on the ground in Macon last weekend and watched the Yotes absolutely dump truck Mercer. I mean, homie, it was not close. And it was not close from the jump. And let me tell you this, too, about the Yotes. Them boys ain't losing no games getting off the bus. They are large. I was extremely impressed with them across the offensive line, across the defensive line. Homie, Aiden Bauman, first off, his daddy played in the NFL. He's a legit player. He started his college career, I'm pretty sure, at Iowa State. I think that's right. I mean, he was an FBS guy. And you see him live, you're like, dude, this NFL guy, like huge body guy. And lefty, slings it. And my man, I'm telling you something. Look out for old LJ Phillips Jr. My dude is like, he kind of reminds me of Darren Sproles. He is like a bowling ball. Like, dude, he's fun to watch. And so that's another one where number-wise, I don't know if the Yotes are going to win straight up. But boy, do I like the Yotes against the number. Like, a lot.
They're good numbers. Both of them are good numbers. If it was 6.5, I'd probably go with the Grizz. With 7.5, I like the Yotes.
Yeah. It feels a lot like a 3-point game to me. The other thing too is, again, it's hard for me to separate things. And like Coach Johansson, I was so impressed with him when we got to chat with him and like the mindset they have in that program. And dude, he said something when we talked to him that I was like, this is incredible. He's like, we really don't recruit. He's like, obviously we recruit, but we're not recruiting. We're going to deter what we deter, and we're going to attract what we attract. And I thought, hell yes. Either you're with us or you ain't with us. And we're not going to try to like hard sell you on it. And so I just like what they got going on. So that one, man, I can't wait to watch. So I'm kind of waffling, giving you answers, but let's just say if I'm picking numbers, I'm taking Villanova against the spread. I'm taking the Yotes against the spread. And I'm going to take the Redbirds too. Although I have no feel for that Aggies Redbirds game because that Aggies team is really, really good. So yeah, it's going to be a super fun day. Okay, now let's talk about Army Navy. All right. And Army Navy, probably the most special college football game all year. And it ain't real close. Okay. And I think they have the greatest, I don't know if it's their tagline, but I know they use it when like they do their intros, but the only game all year where everybody playing would die for everybody watching. I mean, just let that wash over you for a minute. That's it, man. That's it. And so it is one of those games where it's appointment television for me. Like I'm going 2 TVs today. I'm going Army Navy on one box, and then I'm going to have Yotes Grizz on another box. Like it's going to be incredible. So, and it's in Baltimore today. It'll be at M&T Bank Stadium. Dude, just going to be a lot of fun. And good storylines for both. Both programs have had good years. Navy has had a great year.
Yeah, they have.
And I think you could make a real argument that Blake Horvath should have been much more involved in the Heisman conversations. But, I love Drew Cronick's offense. We've talked about it a bunch this year. I love what Coach Newberry does. Dude, Coach Monken's Coach Monken. Like, I had heard his name bandied about a little bit with Penn State, and I thought that would have been a cool fit. Like, I think he kind of gets shoulder shrugged because it's like, oh, he runs the option. I'm like, dude, no. Like, he didn't have to run the option. He could run anything. So, I don't know. How you feel on this? Where do you think this game's going to go today?
Well, let's back up just a little. When was the last time that you can remember where it wasn't like monsooning or just awful weather for an Army Navy game? It's been a few years, right?
It's been a while.
It's gonna be sunny and 45. Like I was thinking about that earlier, and I was like, in the last few years, I'm pretty sure it's been just gloomy and rainy. And I mean, if you just look at the teams, you kind of throw it out in this game because it's the rivalry. It's the
100%.
game.
Yeah.
But Navy is just they're playing differently this year. They're playing a different style. I like the way that they're playing, and Horvath is he's had a hell of a year. And I think he's the difference in this game. If he doesn't turn the ball over, he does have, I think he has 9 total turnovers with the He has 5 interceptions and 4 fumbles, I think. But he also has 23 total touchdowns. I just think he's the difference in this game. And it's basically Horvath versus Helms if you look at the stat line, but I'm going to take Horvath because of the passing element of it. Helms has only thrown, I think 50 passes all season, maybe 60. So there just isn't really much of a passing threat from Army. So I'm going to go with Navy, and I don't think they're going to cover, though. I think it's going to be close. I would take Army to cover, but I think Navy's going to.
That's kind of where I sit on it this year. It's a funny game because everything should point to Navy kind of steamrolling it, but it never works out that way. And I feel like these two teams obviously know each other better than anybody. And so I love Army to cover for sure. I think Navy will win the football game, and they should win the football game. They have the best player on the field, and that should matter. Dude, the flip side of this is, and we've talked about this a ton, covering Navy and the American this year, is, dude, Navy's defense is not great.
It is not. They gave up a ton of points.
Ton of points. And so, like, you could very much see Army having some success. And so I think it could be actually a really fun game. You know, a lot of times they get in a rock fight and it's like, 17-13 or something like this. Whereas today, man, I can maybe see like a 31-28 or something. Like that'd be kind of different.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is on
Army's
my
not gonna
list.
be able to just grind it out. They're not, because they're gonna bust a few. They're just going to. Navy gives up big plays. They just do.
Yep.
And Navy's gonna have big plays too, but Navy wants to do that. Army doesn't necessarily want to have huge plays because they want to control the clock. So, they want to score obviously, but they don't want to, they don't want to bust 70-yard runs 3 times and, only have the ball for, 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm so excited. It's gonna be such a fun day. And dude, we're not even talking about there's a bowl game tonight, which is bizarre.
Yeah, it is weird. It is really. Has there ever been one this early? Like, is this just the first time? Like, I don't remember them being this early. Like, I feel like they always start on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday.
Yeah, I could be wrong about this, but I don't ever remember there being a bowl game on the same day as Army Navy. Like, obviously, always the FCS playoffs are, but I don't ever remember there being a bowl game. Kind of an interesting matchup. Like, you've got BYU, who backdoors into the Mountain West title game, ends up winning it. Not just winning it, dump trucked UNLV.
Boise.
Yeah, what did I say?
BYU,
sorry. Yeah, Boise State. And so, dude, Madison, I think, is healthy, which is big for them. And then you got this Washington squad, who we've talked about. You got Jed Fish, you got Damon Williams Jr., you got Jonah Coleman, you got Denzel Boston. Like, they've had a nice year too. And so, not like it's a terrible matchup, but yeah, so that's on at 8 o'clock tonight is kind of like the dessert from an excellent day of football. So, yeah, man, it's fun. And then CFP kicks off next week on campus. We haven't even talked about CFP, given all the other things, which I feel like we should talk about that separately. But I'm excited for the field. I know you're very excited for the field. Yeah. And the one thing I do want to talk about is what is I should have written it down. I'm going to mess up their handle, but what is it? The podcast and blog? It's like JMU Sports News or something.
JMU Sports News. They've won the fire. And and the funny thing is when the people don't know that they're just trolling, those are my favorite responses, because they made a post about when Napier was announced. This is JMU Sports blog news or sports news on Twitter. They have just been, since JMU got announced into the field, they have been going off, and apparently they do this all the time, but they've got national notice because they're in the college football playoff. And they're making all kinds of comments and stuff. They talk about how they have poached Napier from an SEC school.
That's right, from SEC school.
And Florida fans are losing their minds, not realizing that they're just an all-time troll account.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, it's great.
How about the one you sent me where they're talking about the playoff field? And they, instead of calling Indiana, they referred to Indiana as JMU Bloomington.
That was great. I didn't even send you this one. They put that Oregon posted highlights. I can't remember if it was from a game or from the season, and they're like you saw the slow motion highlights, and they were like, man, we've never seen a team this slow.
Oregon is the slowest team we've ever seen. This could be a bloodbath.
Oh my God. Spectacular.
Well, then they posted the clip, which you and I have shared it like 100 times with each other, but the end of practice clip of JMU running the offensive line fade play into the end zone.
Yeah.
And they're like, Oregon cannot contend when we pull this out. Like,
it
dude,
is
they
awesome.
have just been, God, it has been hilarious.
The best thing is most Duck fans interacting with it are like on board with it. Like they're like, they're like just having fun with it. And they're like, it's great to interact with other fans, from a different school that we don't interact with. And it's people from other schools who aren't playing the Dukes are like have all up in arms about it. I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah. Come on, man. Don't take yourself so serious.
Yeah. So
it has been a must follow. So if you are not following them, you should follow them because it's entertainment at its highest form.
It is.
So,
it is.
Yeah. It's been awesome. So, well, I'm happy for you, brother. My boy is a proud JMU Duke. So dude, to watch their kind of escalation and from FCS to FBS, and then to see Sig's success, and now the season they've had this year, and to get into the dance, dude, it's so freaking cool. Like, can you imagine when we were sitting at Bridgeforth back in like 03 and 04 that they would play in the college football playoff?
Do you want to know something funny? So, another thing that was posted by them, and I knew this, but it didn't click. Indiana's leading defensive back, rusher, and receiver and tackler, all from JMU. JMU Duke transfers, all Dukes. So it's not like they can't bring in some talent. So
I mean, dude, I think they should run with this
I forgot Surratt. I forgot Surratt was at JMU. I completely forgot that he was there.
Dude, he's Northern Virginia kid.
Yeah, completely forgot.
Yeah, like I tweeted this out, and they didn't see it because it didn't get any traction. But like, if they don't sell JMU Bloomington T-shirts, they're missing the boat.
Yeah, that's a great pull. Like, when he posted I died laughing.
I would buy one today if they were selling.
I would too.
Laugh out loud funny. And it's funny because it's true. Like,
yes, it really is.
Sig took half the team, and now they're
and the coaching staff.
And the coaching staff, and now they're number one seed in the college football playoff. Like, it's what a world we live in. But yeah, dude, it's incredible. Well, that's all I got, homie. I just wanted to catch up with you. God, it's been crazy, and so many things to talk about. This season has been, God, it's just been so fun at both levels. It's been so fun. FBS, FCS, all of it. So it's been incredible. And yeah, man, can't wait to watch it today. And then we'll get cracking next week, covering CFP starting, and dude, FCS semis coming up on deck next week. So man, it's gonna be awesome. Well, all right, brother. Well, enjoy it today. And for everybody out there, y'all enjoy it. And until we talk to you next time, kiss your nooch.